We get a number of questions from applicants about the Master of Landscape Architecture program, so we wanted to put together some ideas of how people can think about the program and apply to it.
I'm really interested in applying to the Masters of Landscape Architecture program, but I'm a little bit stuck at the portfolio stage. I'm wondering if you can let me know what you're looking for exactly.
So think about the portfolio as a way of communicating both your personality, your background, your interests, and a place where all of that comes together and showcases your creativity and your curiosity about the world and its possible application in design. It should include any examples of how you are inquisitive, creative, and skilled. It might be works of art, it could be cooking, it could be poetry, it could be woodworking or metalwork, or any sort of craft. The portfolio is not just an example of artistry, but it shows how you approach and problem solve any particular challenge.
I have a degree in genetics. Is that eligible for the MLA? Is it a good fit for the program?
Absolutely. The wonderful thing about the MLA program is that we have students from a wide range of backgrounds. And in turn, we really appreciate the life experience that they bring into the student body within their particular cohort. So we've seen pretty well almost all possible undergraduate degree combinations. And in fact, that actually makes for a really rich student experience.
I have a background in planning and design. Can I be exempt from similar courses I've taken previously?
We do welcome students with similar background. We actually encourage that. However, we do recommend that students take the normal course of study because it is through an accredited landscape architecture program. Now, in terms of if you have similar courses in other backgrounds, that is done on a case-by-case basis by the professor who teaches that course, but you will not be exempt on acceptance of the program.
Are there many older students in the program, and do they find technology to be a challenge?
We have students of all ages in the program, so we have students from very fresh out of their undergraduate program to all the way to almost retirement age. The students generally find that the technology is not a problem because we give all the instruction necessary to handle the technology that we use in the program. So there's a range of capabilities and skills across all of our student body, depending on where they came from in their undergrad and their experiences before they became an MLA student. But we make sure that all those students have the capacity to achieve their success in the program.
Do I need to have previous knowledge of design software before I apply to the program? Should I practice design software like AutoCAD, Photoshop, InDesign, and Rhino before I enter the program?
The MLA program does teach the students the necessary knowledge to understand computer-aided drafting and design programs, digital illustration and presentation programs, and of course also GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems program. So we do teach that, but we do recommend that perhaps you may look at some tutorials that are offered by vendors, and so you have a little bit of knowledge before coming into the program. That tends to give a little bit of an advantage before you get into the actual course of study.
So what does the career landscape look like for a graduate of the Masters of Landscape Architecture program?
Yeah, so job prospects after graduation from our program are typically quite good. I think there's often huge demand for landscape architects. Varies a little bit from region to region, of course. But over the last number of years, a lot of the reporting that we get, is that there aren't enough people to fill the available jobs. In terms of where our students end up, it's a pretty diverse field. There are jobs in the public sector, so working for municipalities and conservation authorities or different levels of government. The federal government and the provincial government employ a number of landscape architects in different ministries and so on. But the bulk of practitioners is in the private sector, and there's huge diversity in the private sector, from big multidisciplinary firms that work with other professionals like architects and engineers, planners, and then all the way down to design build firms that are involved in not only the design work, but seeing the design work through to installation. It's a very exciting time to be getting into this field, and there are lots of opportunities to work around the world.
I know that architects have to go through an accreditation process, and I'm curious what that process looks like for a graduate of the Landscape Architecture program.
So when you start the program, it's a 3-year program, and then getting out into the working world, in order to gain licensure, you do a number of exams, the LARE exams, L-A-R-E. There are 4 of them currently, and you also do a 2-year professional development period. And so probably the fastest path to licensure from when you start would be 5 years. Typically, so that would be the 3 years of the program and then 2 years of your professional development period if you were to do your exams within that period. I think typically most people would take an extra year or 2 or more. There's not really a huge rush. But I certainly strongly endorse pursuing licensure as a professional practitioner after the program.
We've tried to answer some of the common questions that we get from MLA applicants. See our website for answers to more questions.